Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Dog Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper. And today I'm here to talk about the epicenter of ADHD. Impulsivity, distractibility are all symptomatic issues for those with ADHD. I've done many issues with Dr. Russell Barkley, who's reframing the way we look at ADHD as an executive functioning issue, most of which is really self-regulation. And that has an interesting definition. That's the ability to direct an action back on yourself, to change your behavior, to change the future. It's a future-directed act. What does all that really mean? Really, it means the ability to pause, to inhibit your automatic response before you go into what you're going to do. So it's the ability to pause and actually choose, oversimplified. That's a skill, the single greatest thing I can coach somebody with ADHD to learn to do and actually activate on. It sounds really pretty easy, but it's not necessarily that easy because, after all, ADHD is a self-regulation issue. And one of the things that I found useful for many is to help them do attention exercises in order to build in that pause. And one of the things that we do is we have them narrate themselves. So what does that look like? Well, right now I'm looking into the camera and I'm talking to you about the words that are kind of going on. But narrating yourself is where I'm in the situation and you switch it to, there he is sitting in the chair. He's looking into the camera, and as he's talking, he's noticing the light flashing off the whiteboard in front of the camera. Now, I'm going to pause. Notice how I said he. I wasn't thinking, focused on the general thoughts. I was looking at what I was doing, as if there's another person that's watching me and narrating what's going on. This narrating, or seeing yourself in the third person, if you will, gives you some insight and helps you witness what you're paying attention to, not the specific thoughts. Let me give you another example, a metaphor, if you will, that I use in coaching. When I'm dealing with somebody with ADHD and they talk a lot, I don't listen to what they're saying. I listen to how what they're saying serves them. And I found that many of them are they're talking out loud. They're just getting their thoughts out. Some of them are actually talking, and they stop. They're really bouncing their logic off of you. Sometimes they're trying to get their thoughts and summarize what their point is. Other times they're exchanging data. In each of those situations, I've described the function of the conversation, not the content of the conversation. And when I begin to witness, that's the function of what's going on, I mirror back to them and say, I hear what you're doing is you're bouncing your logic off of me. And when they become aware of it, they can begin to manage it. Bringing these two things together is to recognize what you're doing and how you're doing it is better observed in the third person and not in the moment. And so this is just a tip for those with ADHD to kind of help you sit and pause. Being in a meeting and noticing yourself, or walking down the street and being able to stop and narrate what you're doing at that point in time is an attention exercise. And the more you do it, the easier it will be to catch yourself in the moment, pause, and recognize what's going on. So it's a fun little tip. I found it to be very effective for some. I would suggest that you play with it and try it. One of the keys is remember the language. There he is. This is what he's doing. No I and no individual thoughts. Narrating for the third person. We hope you found this interesting and informative. Again, it's just an exercise like shooting free throws that can help you develop that skill. For more great tips, go to AttentionDogVideo.com. We hope you've enjoyed this and catch us for our next edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.